The story begins by stating that as crime rates rose in America, the government constructed private prisons, one of which was Terminal Island. Illegal death races were organized inside this facility and broadcast live, bringing massive profits to the owners of the private jails. Inside Terminal Island, a death race is underway featuring a popular driver named Frankenstein, who always wears a mask. Frankenstein is a massive crowd favorite, but suddenly, all the weapons on his car are deactivated, leaving him unable to use them. Another racer named Joe, who is trailing behind and desperate to win the race, deliberately rams into Frankenstein's car. Realizing the danger, Frankenstein tells his navigator, Case, to get out of the car, stating that this is his fight alone. Hearing this, Case ejects from the car using a parachute. Shortly after, Joe relentlessly attacks Frankenstein's vehicle, causing it to explode and seemingly killing Frankenstein. Outside the prison, we are introduced to a man named Jensen, who returns home after finishing his work. After greeting his wife and playing with his baby daughter, his wife is suddenly attacked by an intruder. A short while later, Jensen finds his wife dead. At that exact moment, the attacker strikes Jensen from behind, knocking him unconscious. The police arrive, arrest Jensen on charges of murdering his own wife, and send him to Terminal Island. Upon arriving at the prison, he is attacked by other inmates, but he fights back, heavily injuring his attackers. Following this incident, the prison warden, Hennessy, calls Jensen to her office. The warden tells him that the people who attacked him consider him very dangerous, but she knows he is a highly skilled driver. The warden explains the concept of the death race, a deadly competition where inmates risk their lives in dangerous car races. The race consists of stages, and if an inmate manages to win, they are completely freed from prison, regardless of the severity of their crimes. The warden then tells Jensen about Frankenstein. She explains that his entire face was severely burned during a previous race, which is why he constantly wore a mask, and the audience is eagerly awaiting his return. However, she reveals a secret. Frankenstein actually died on the operating table after the previous race. The warden offers Jensen a deal. If he takes on the persona of Frankenstein and participates in the race, he will only need to survive and win one more round to earn his freedom. She explicitly states that the audience must never find out that the real Frankenstein is dead, otherwise the show's ratings will crash. Jensen outright refuses the offer. The warden then threatens him, revealing that his infant daughter has been placed into foster care. She warns him that if he declines the offer, his daughter will end up calling someone else father forever. Hearing this threat, Jensen is cornered and agrees to participate in the race. The warden introduces Jensen to his assistant and mechanic, Coach. Coach provides Jensen with all the necessary details about the race and warns him about Joe. Coach explains that Joe is an incredibly dangerous driver who does not hesitate to kill. For every person he kills during a race, he carves a new scar into his own face. Coach outlines the 3 stages of the race. In the first stage, the goal is simply to survive and cross the finish line. The final stage is purely about speed. The faster you drive, the quicker you reach the finish line and win. While walking through the track, Jensen notices sensory tracking devices attached to the hands of some inmates working there. Coach explains that these sensors are placed on inmates working outside to ensure they do not attempt to escape. Seeing these sensors triggers Jensen's memory. He realizes that the man who attacked him in his home was wearing an identical sensor. The first day of the race arrives, and the warden prepares Jensen by dressing him in Frankenstein's signature clothes and mask. The other inmates cheer wildly, thrilled to see Frankenstein back. The drivers are brought to their cars, and a bus arrives carrying female inmates transferred from another prison to serve as navigators. The inclusion of these women is a tactic to further boost the show's ratings. Case, Frankenstein's previous navigator who ejected via parachute in the last race, gets into Jensen's car. The moment she hears Jensen speak, she immediately realizes that he is an imposter. Coach approaches the car and tells Jensen that he can remove his mask once the doors are sealed, as the heavily tinted windows will prevent anyone outside from seeing his face. The race begins and is broadcast live to viewers all around the world. Shortly after the race starts, Jensen takes the lead. However, Joe immediately begins his assault, repeatedly ramming his car into Jensen's. As they drive further, illuminated symbols of a sword and a shield appear on the track. Case explains the mechanics. Driving over a sword arms the car with offensive weapons and ammunition, while a shield deploys defensive countermeasures like oil slicks and smoke to shake off pursuers. She also warns him about skulls. If a car drives over a skull, deadly spears shoot up from the ground, destroying the car and killing the driver. During this explanation, Joe attacks Jensen with gunfire. Jensen attempts to use his shield defense, but his weapons suddenly malfunction and fail to activate. Coach is completely shocked by this failure. Fortunately, another driver attacks Joe, which gives Jensen an opening to escape. Soon after, another racer attacks Jensen. While doing so, this racer makes a specific hand gesture toward Jensen. Jensen instantly recognizes this gesture, realizing it is the exact same one made by the man who murdered his wife. Jensen is now certain that his wife's killer is here, and he resolves to kill him, but the first stage of the race comes to an end before he can act. After the race, while Jensen and his crew are repairing their car, he spots the driver who killed his wife walking by. Jensen immediately chases after him, and a brutal fistfight breaks out between the two. Jensen is just about to kill the man when a prison guard intervenes and knocks Jensen unconscious. The story then shifts to a flashback, revealing the truth. It is shown that the warden orchestrated the entire tragedy. She ordered the police officer and this very driver to murder Jensen's wife. The goal was to frame Jensen, have him imprisoned, and force him to take up the mantle of Frankenstein. The next day, stage 2 begins. While the other drivers speed ahead, Jensen deliberately holds back and stays in the rear. He demands that Case tell him the truth about the warden. Case confesses that the warden is a highly manipulative woman who specifically ordered her to secretly disable Frankenstein's weapons during the previous race. If Case complied, the warden promised to grant her freedom. The warden wanted the real Frankenstein to lose so he would not win his freedom, ensuring the game's massive popularity remained intact. Hearing this betrayal, Jensen becomes absolutely furious. He accelerates his car to top speed and surges to the front of the pack. He aggressively targets the driver who murdered his wife. Because Jensen is in the lead, both Coach and Case urge him to activate a shield for defense. Jensen ignores them entirely and activates a sword instead. He begins firing upon the killer's car, but quickly realizes the vehicle is completely bulletproof. Changing tactics, Jensen releases a thick smoke screen, which causes the killer's car to crash and flip over. Jensen stops his car, steps out onto the track, and personally executes the driver, avenging his wife. Because Jensen violated the rules by stepping out of his vehicle during the race, the warden deploys the Dreadnought, a heavily armed monster truck. The monster truck enters the track and begins systematically destroying the racers' cars one by one. Jensen tells Coach to patch him through to Joe's radio. Jensen tells Joe that they must team up to take down the Dreadnought, and Joe agrees. The two drivers coordinate to flank the massive truck on both sides, distracting the driver. Driving slightly ahead, Jensen and Joe intentionally trigger a skull trap. Massive spears shoot up from the track directly into the path of the oncoming truck, completely destroying it. With the Dreadnought destroyed and the other racers eliminated, only Jensen and Joe remain in the competition. This means the final round will be a one-on-one showdown between them. Later, while Jensen and his crew are working on his car in the garage, Joe approaches them. Since Joe had met the real Frankenstein before, he recognizes Jensen's voice and deduces that the original Frankenstein is dead. He realizes Jensen is the new driver. Meanwhile, the warden is furious because Jensen is proving to be a massive threat to her operation. She covertly orders the corrupt police officer to assassinate Jensen. The next day, the officer sneaks into the garage and plants a bomb underneath Jensen's car. Before the final race begins, Jensen approaches Joe, wanting to talk, but Joe flatly refuses to speak with him. Later, as Jensen puts on Frankenstein's suit, the warden visits him. She shows him his official release papers and tells him that he must win this race no matter what. Once Jensen is strapped into his car, Case reveals a dark truth. The warden ordered her to ensure Jensen does not win. From this, Jensen fully understands that the warden has absolutely no intention of ever letting him go. The final stage of the death race begins. Joe immediately accelerates and takes the lead. Jensen manages to trigger both a sword and a shield, but when he tries to use them, nothing happens. The warden had completely deactivated his car's weapons once again. Meanwhile, Joe's weapons are fully functional, and he launches a relentless assault on Jensen. Joe heavily damages Jensen's car. Suddenly, Joe fires a massive rocket to finish Jensen off, but Jensen dodges it. The rocket hits an obstacle, causing a massive explosion that blankets the entire track in thick smoke. When the smoke finally clears, the audience and the warden see that both cars have completely vanished from the track. It is soon revealed that both cars have smashed through the prison walls and are escaping the island. Seeing Jensen and Joe breaking out, the warden panics and immediately cuts the live broadcast. She dispatches helicopters and heavily armed guards to hunt them down. Working together, Joe and Jensen use their cars' remaining weapons to destroy the pursuing guard vehicles. The warden suddenly remembers the explosive planted on Jensen's car and orders the police officer to detonate it. The officer flips the switch, but there is no explosion. It is revealed that Coach had discovered the bomb while inspecting the car and safely dismantled it beforehand. With helicopters still hot on their trail, Jensen and Joe crash through the main gates of the prison. To lose the helicopters, the two drivers split up and take different routes. Further down the road, Jensen abandons his car. Case slides into the driver's seat, puts on Frankenstein's mask and clothing, and continues driving. She successfully lures the helicopters far away before finally stopping the car and surrendering. Seeing the masked driver get arrested, the warden is tricked into believing that Jensen has been captured. In reality, Jensen and Joe have secretly boarded a moving freight train to escape. On the train, Joe tells Jensen he is heading straight to Miami. Jensen replies that he must first go get his daughter, after which he will join Joe in Miami. Back at the prison, the corrupt police officer congratulates the warden, noting that the show achieved its highest TRP ratings ever. He hands her a wrapped gift, saying someone sent it for her. When the warden opens the box, she finds the exact same bomb that was planted on Jensen's car. A massive explosion engulfs the office, killing the warden instantly. The camera reveals Coach standing nearby. He was the one who mailed the explosive gift. The story jumps forward 6 months. Jensen and Joe are seen working together as mechanics in a garage, fixing a car and drinking together. Suddenly, a car pulls up and Case steps out. Jensen and Joe are overjoyed to see her. Jensen then introduces Case to his young daughter, and the movie concludes on a happy note.